The girl fainted an altitude of 10,000 meters. As the descent speed increased, she instantly woke up. She tried to grab the rope on the hot air balloon, but it was too late. When she opened her eyes, she was already hanging at 10,000 meters. It was nearly 40 degrees below zero. At this rate, she would freeze to death sooner or later. She screamed for help to her companion in the basket, but there was no response. As the hot air balloon kept rising, the temperature rapidly dropped. She had to get back to the basket and open the release valve to descend if she wanted to survive. She kept swinging her legs, trying to swing herself back. After several attempts, she finally grabbed the basket. She didn't have time to rest and quickly went to pull the release valve to descend. But the valve was frozen and couldn't be opened. The only solution was to climb up and release the air manually. So she slowly climbed up the rope. She didn't know how long it took, but she finally reached the side of the balloon. It was hard to climb here, and one wrong move could send her falling. She wanted to use the tether rope as a safety rope, but she couldn't reach it. By now, she was exhausted, and her consciousness started to blur. In a daze, she saw her companion, still uncertain of his fate. This reignited her will to survive. With all her strength, she adjusted her body and grabbed the nearby rope. She then tied the safety rope around herself and successfully climbed to the top of the balloon. She tried to open the valve, but it didn't work. So she stood up, stepped on the valve, and finally opened it. To prevent it from closing, she pulled out a knife, cut the rope, and used her shoe to block the valve. As the hot air balloon slowly descended, her companion began to regain consciousness. At this point, she noticed that snowflakes were swirling in midair. This meant the balloon was descending faster than snowflakes. The two quickly pulled on the ropes to close the valve, but they pulled too hard, and the valve opened completely. The descent speed increased even more. The two hurriedly threw everything they could out of the basket, but it still wasn't enough. They needed to get rid of the heaviest basket, so they climbed to the metal ring and cut the ropes one by one. As they got closer to the ground, the speed was still too fast. The woman slowly stood on the edge of the metal ring, planning to sacrifice herself. Her companion stopped her. Suddenly the man seemed to have an idea. He told the woman to cut the ropes on them. You're circle one by one. This would form a parachute. When pulled to the outer net, they quickly got to work. With the final rope cut, a hot air balloon instantly became a giant parachute. The descent speed slowed down. The two survivors were overjoyed, but the landing spot was far from ideal. The hot air balloon poured a jungle. The man was thrown off the balloon. The woman, still attached to the balloon, was thrown forward and eventually crashed to the ground. She didn't wake up until nightfall. Fortunately, the man was fine. Their flight had set a new world record for the highest human flight at 11,278 meters.